Year 13s, 90%, 80% if you exam. When you get your mock papers back for year 13s, listen and listen well intensively before an exam, mental health, and repeating those questions until you're getting a consistently high. As a year 13 survivor, a forgetting curve. I wish I knew before I started. I'm out of year 13 saying I have no regrets. I tried my absolute hardest. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so this video is the last of this kind of series. So
we're going to be talking
everything year 13. Just everything year 13. Year 13 was definitely a year for me. I promise you, you're going to make it through year 13. You have a beautiful summer to look forward to. Year 13 is doable. That's my little encouragement. I want you guys to learn from my mistake and have a much better year 13 year. Okay, let's get straight into the video. Great boundaries always move, but my philosophy was if I aimed for the best, I just fall down and get exactly what I meant to get. Don't let yourself be negatively surprised on results day, like, oh my gosh, what happened? I wonder how far I was off an A-star in biology. If you're doing your practice and you're checking your practice and you're keeping up with your practice and you're reviewing your practice, you'll roughly know what grade you're gonna get. For example, if I aimed for 3 Bs, I'd most likely get 3 Cs. If you aim for 3 As, you're probably gonna fall down and get 3 Bs. But if you aim for the very best you can, then you know that there's no chance that grade boundaries can mess you up. You aim for the absolute best, 90%, 80%. If you just aim for A stars, then getting A's is like perfectly fine because you aim for the best and you got exactly what you're meant to get. So never, never, never put in your mind that you want B's, okay? Never put in your mind that you want B's. That's the mentality for year 13. Go in, aiming for the best. It is October as I'm filming. You can put in extreme work from January to May and you'll get exactly what you're meant to get. Don't aim for anything less than the best. Start by talking about mocks. You're gonna have at least 2 mocks before your final exam. So revise for your mocks like your final exam, because it just means that when you come to your finals, you'll have less to revise. But I want to actually stress that mocks are not the real thing. Do not break your back for mock. Don't burn out before your real exams. Revise for your mocks like they're the real thing, but do not put too much pressure on yourself to get what you want to get by the real thing. That's my number 1 advice. Like, it was a good year. I was on top of my stuff. Not all my mocks went great, but I was determined. I was determined to smash my final exam. When you get your mock papers back, like I remember I had a file on my GoodNote of my past exam questions that I'd got wrong. And honestly guys, go through those mock papers before your final exam. Ensure that if you were to sit those mocks again, you'd be perfectly fine to do so. Use your mock result to guide your revision. Wherever you lose marks, make sure you're keeping track of that and make sure you're putting in extra work to get those marks back. I always try to be as helpful as I can. Get those mock papers, identify what topic it is. Once you know what topic it is, you can go into physics and maths 2R and just print out a pack of those questions and keep doing those questions. Do them and do them and do them until you're getting most of the questions right. Give yourself an 80. I always aim for 80, 90%. It varies between subjects because an A star in biology is always 65, so that would be impressive, getting 80s there. Whereas for chemistry, an A star is something more like 82%. So it honestly depends, but always give yourself a range or a percentage you're aiming for and aim for that percentage. Keep doing practice questions until you're getting that percentage and you're where you want to be. So learn from your mocks by keeping a track of what you got wrong and repeating those questions until you're getting a consistently high percentage that reflects the grade you want to get at the end of your A-level. The next section of this video is UCAS. So most people would have applied through UCAS. If you didn't, literally don't worry. My motivation was getting the grades that I wanted so that I could apply to medical school the following year. But if you do have UCAS conditional offers coming in, use that as motivation. Lots of my friends around me, I remember when they were getting their offers for uni, it literally made them want to work 10 times harder in the library. It could be Imperial's update on UCAS track that literally just motivates you. Like, oh my gosh, I've been given this offer, now let me work towards these grades. Yes, it's all well having an offer, but if you don't actually get your offer on results day, you're gonna have to go through clearing. So make sure you use your UCAS offers as motivation, and God willing, you guys get all the offers you're looking for. But when you see that offer, do not be complacent. You're not in, okay? That offer should be your reason you work 10 times harder in year 13. The next thing I want to talk about is revision. My main revision tip for year 13s, listen and listen well, is do little bits often. And you know what? Not even little bits. Do lots, but do it often. I genuinely think frequency is what did it for me. Revising for 2 weeks intensively before an exam will not give you the result you're looking for. However, revising the same time you did in those 2 weeks over a span of 2 months is going to get you the results you're looking for. Something called a forgetting curve. And so if you're constantly doing spaced repetition and constantly reminding yourself of the concepts that you need to know. You'll see that all the things you need to know for your exam will come out of your brain when you're sitting there. But if you're going to cram 2 weeks before, it's just not going to work. Guys, really, really utilize every single day you have in year 13. That's like my biggest advice. Take every day, revise every day. Even if it's like one of your days off, do some flashcards, do something. I do know there's different advice everywhere, but that's my personal advice for you guys. Do little bits all the time. It can be an hour on a journey. It could be one practice paper a night. You need to revise consistently in year 13. That's the only way you're actually going to bring anything out of your brain onto that paper in that exam hall. Be consistent, do not cram. Next thing I want to talk about is balance. I know a lot of people have this connotation around year 13 that it's this crazy, horrible, stressful year from September till June. It's the worst thing ever. But honestly, as a year 13 survivor, I don't believe year 13 was that bad. And the reason being was because I had a balance. My life was not all revision, all studying. I had lots of different things to do, aka this YouTube channel. I was always editing. I was always going on runs. I was always socializing. Like I never had I can't do this, like I have to study sort of life. No, that's not true. I did skip a lot of social events, but that's just because it wasn't my setting. Balance your life. When you come home from school, take that break. On the weekend, take that break. When you have a balanced life outside of education, it really allows for an organized and focused mind so you can be efficient in your revision for your A-levels, okay? So take a break and have a balance. Enjoy yourself. Make it fun. Your mental health. And just take time for yourself. The next thing I want to talk about is practice papers. Yes, practice papers are getting their whole separate section because I'm telling you, practice papers, yeah. If you think about it, from 2017 till about 2023, that is 6 years worth of practice papers. And remember, for most of your exams, you have about 3 papers per subject. So if you really add that all up, you're looking at about 54 to 70 practice. Realistically, not everyone's going to do all 50 to 70 of those past papers, but if you want to put yourself in a good position, make sure you've done at least sets of years. I always recommend doing the year that had the lowest grade boundaries first, because that paper tends to be of a higher difficulty. Giving yourself the most difficult years shows you the worst way that the exam board has created the paper before. Be ready for what's coming up on those papers. It is really hard to do practice papers when you're not entirely finished with your content, so ensure that you do topic questions before you go on to practice papers. Practice papers should be reserved for a time when you know all of the content and you're trying to do the paper in exam condition, timed conditions. Try and start doing them as early as you can. Flashcards can only do so much, textbooks can only do so much, but practice papers are exactly what's coming up in your exam. So familiarize yourself with practice papers as soon as possible. Guys, if anything I'm saying doesn't make sense or you have more questions, please comment them down below. I try to respond to all of my comments and I'm happy to expand on any point I do say because I understand a video can't always get everything across. So please comment it down below because I genuinely want to help you guys. The next part I want to talk about is exam. I will do a video dedicated to this closer to the time because exam season was definitely something for me. I enjoyed year 13 probably up until the last, like the days before my real papers. I definitely had a lot of self-doubt nearer to the end, which is crazy considering how much I prepared. Exams themselves, I honestly just want to take the stress off you guys if I could. Like I want to take the stress off you guys, but sorry for the change. We're back. I believe we're talking about exams. My biggest tip is by the time you get to exam season, you'd have done everything you could have done. I want to let you know you've worked 2 years for it and you actually know more than you think you know. For someone who's put themselves in a good position, you can't do anything else. Like, don't stress when you get to exams, but I will do a video when you're there so you'll know exactly what I'm talking about because that feeling is unreal. I learned from year 13. I wish I knew before I started things I want you guys to learn from. It would have been life-saving to know. And even though it sounds pretty obvious, year 13 is just a season in your life. 1 year, and it's not even a year, it's a couple of months and you're already a fraction of the way through. This year is going to pass. Just like every season in your life, it will pass. So if you give your all during this season of your life, you'll be able to come out of year 13 saying, I had no regrets, I tried my absolute hardest. But if you do start to slack and you do start to like replace studying with certain things, you definitely feel the consequences of it. And I saw a lot of like TikTok horror stories about that. So I want to just let you guys know, look, it's a season. Put in the work now and it will be over shortly. If you just lock in for these couple of months, it's gonna go. The second thing I really want people to know, it is actually your last year of of formal education, like as a child almost. Now that I'm out of year 13, I low-key miss sixth form. Controversial, like the silly rules of sixth form may have. My sixth form used to never let us go out for lunch. And I remember that was such a big thing. Like people were like, we're 18, like why is our school keeping us in here? I didn't really have a problem with it, but honestly, I love structure. Enjoy the structure, enjoy being in a safe environment. You're not exactly in the adulting world yet. Just literally enjoy school. It's your last time you're ever gonna be in school. The third thing I wanted everyone to know, do not isolate yourself. Have a support network. It could even be your mom. Like, just make sure you have somebody else to talk to. It is definitely gonna take a toll on you. I'm not even saying have a million friends, just a community can be 1 or 2 people, but just have a group of people you trust, a group of people you can decompress with. Do not isolate yourself, because I believe that when you isolate yourself, that is when you can be really overwhelmed by your own thoughts. Isolation is the perfect place for the enemy to dwell. Isolation, he loves telling you lies. And so just have some people that you can lean on, and have some people so that you don't feel alone. You're gonna need that one. Don't underestimate a study session. Actually, don't underestimate what 30 minutes of revision can do. I know I touched on this earlier, but it's honestly the truth. If you literally have 20 minutes that day to revise, do it. If it's between watching a show and revising, just do it. That little 30 minutes can honestly help your grade so much. I can't stress that enough. And this actually goes for any year of school, but especially year 13. Take those minutes that you get where you're like, I could do some revision now, but I don't feel like it. Forget your feelings and literally just do some revision. And the last thing is, don't be afraid to ask for help. Your teachers can help you. Your teachers can help you, so never be afraid to just pull up to their office and ask for help with exam questions, or it can be anything that you want help with. Just ask for help. You don't have to do everything by yourself. If you require a tutor, make sure that's made known to your parents. Find yourself that tutor. Once you recognize you need help, it is way easier to get help. So that is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you have questions, comment them down below, please. I wish you all an amazing year 13 year. I pray results day goes to plan. I pray all your mocks go to plan, and I pray your actual exams go to plan also. I can't wait to show you guys all the different videos I have coming up. My tongue is so red, oh my gosh. But yeah, I will see you all in the next one. Bye. It's to our God, every praise, get it, every praise is to our God. Okay, bye.